Previously on Two Up and Overloaded, we took a stunning road between two volcanoes to the city of Semarang in Indonesia. Unfortunately, along the way we heard a scraping sound whenever we turned on the motorcycle. At a gas station, we diagnosed the problem as the center stand scraping on the ground, which was making the kickstand hit the chain, but Tim fixed it with some zip ties.
I love zip ties, folks.
And we continued on to the city of Semarang, where we had some problems finding a hotel. In fact, it took us a long time, but we finally found a wonderful little place in a very cool part of town. This was our first Chinatown experience. Hey, so we found this awesome hotel. I'm super happy with it. It has a Chinese theme, as you can see around me. Look at this. And this awesome mural over there. And the reason why it has a Chinese theme is because we are in Chinatown, Semarang's Chinatown. So that's pretty cool, and we are going to go explore this Chinatown tonight as we find dinner.
There's Chinatown in Chicago and a lot of major cities around the world, but
yes.
Yeah, it's always nice to see like the little red lanterns, especially at night.
They sold pork, they sold alcohol. Yeah, just a very different vibe from everything that we had previously experienced.
Coconut. That tastes just like velvet.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you very much.
But, you know, we were kind of had a mission on hand of trying to get across the Java Sea.
That's right.
To Borneo. Hey everyone, nice to have you here. We are Tim
and Marissa, no tear.
I ride in the front
and I'm in the rear.
We travel the world and we pack too much gear.
Oh, all the places we'll go.
Through rain and through sleet and through mud and through snow.
Oh, all the things we'll see.
We've been to a country or two
or three. Oh, all the fun we've had.
You have you along would make us real glad.
So give us a like and
hit subscribe to join us along our epic ride.
Good morning, everyone. We actually have a pretty important day today.
Yeah.
Because we have to go to the port
and see if their schedule is actually a fairy tale or not.
We really wanted to get these tickets for a ferry that would cross over to the island of Borneo. Borneo is this huge, awesome, wild island full of jungles and incredible wildlife, and we were really excited to get over there.
Yeah.
But we needed to find a way to cross the sea with ourselves and the motorcycle.
The motor scooter, yeah.
So I think it would be best if we just show up there and see what is going on.
Yes. You know, people have done it before us. We're not, you know, Lewis and Clark over here. So, yeah, but there's very little information. So we figured we'd just show up at the port, not the day of, and being like, hey, we're here for the boat ride. But, like, you know, do a little bit of
scouting out to see, like, we had no idea where to buy tickets. We looked online, you know, we got all the apps, but there was not that much really good concrete information. As far as overlanding on a motorcycle in Indonesia, we hadn't met any other overlanders who were on a motorcycle. There's just not that many. And so finding information was a little bit hard, as not that many people have taken this ferry across as overlanders.
Yeah, but we showed up to the port.
Okay, we are at the port, and we just asked someone where to go to catch. Oh no, there's water everywhere. How do we get across?
And the streets were flooded. It was crazy madness.
It's all flooded. I just asked, like, where can we buy tickets to the ferry to Kalimantan?
We're asking around, we're walking around. It took forever. We couldn't get any really good concrete information.
But finally we found a very helpful dude. Thank you, Elfin, for helping us.
Yeah.
We're gonna go to the office now, cross this big body of water, and hopefully find a place that'll sell tickets. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Terima kasih.
Yeah, sama-sama.
All right, so apparently the ticket office is in a completely different part of town, but we found a location for the ticket office that's really, really good. He says it should be open today, even though things around here are not really open, it seems. So this is good news so far. Let's just hope everything works out.
So we took another grab.
Yeah, we took a little cab
'cause
over there.
1,000 degrees, right?
Yeah, this was also the hottest place that we'd been to. I mean, Indonesia
like
in
sea
general
level.
is hot. But yeah, I guess because it's totally sea level, obviously it's a port.
Yeah.
It was so hot.
It said, hey, we sell ferry tickets like on the door, and it had
Yeah.
like an actual door, which was also equally amazing, and air conditioning.
I know, and we walk in and they're like, yes, what can we help you with? And they got us the tickets, they printed it out, and we were good to go.
It was amazing.
It was.
It was a fairy tale ending, if you guys say so.
Yes, we got our tickets.
If once you know where to go, it's really easy. Confirmation number, like
I
stubs,
know,
the
it
receipt.
never happens like
Yeah,
this.
I
It's
was
always like a
all
3-day
right.
journey. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this was going to be an 18-hour ferry across the Java
Yeah.
Sea. Also, we had to be there like 4 to 6 hours ahead of time. This
To
was
load
going to
the
be
bike.
a long journey.
This is true. And like everything in my mind that I can think of Southeast Asian ferries. If there's overcrowded, I figured there'd be chickens, the possibility of goats.
We were not able to get VIP class though.
Once you go VIP, you never go back.
Yes, the only thing that was left was economy. But we got
No, economy sleep.
economy sleeping. So we'll see what that's like.
Yeah, it's gonna be, I have a prediction. It's gonna be
Interesting is the word.
Yeah.
They had first class, second class, third class. They had economy sleeping, economy sitting, and economy standing.
Economy minus, yeah. Like,
like,
we will
oh,
allow you
no.
to cry in a corner.
They were able to get us economy sleeping, but I had no idea what we were going to be getting ourselves into.
Yeah.
We are almost all packed up to go to the ferry, but Tim is on the verge of throwing up.
When we woke up the morning to go, I was puking. It was kind of gross.
How are you doing?
Stomach hurts.
Yeah.
I didn't feel good again.
And it got really bad, like right when we were supposed to go to the port. I'm a little concerned, but we have time. We have plenty of time, so we might just wait to see if his stomach feels better. Luckily, you said I'm good enough to ride. Let's get on over there. All right, Tim's feeling better, so we're gonna go. It is a super, super hot day. Insanely hot day. We're all geared up. It was a zillion degrees out, and we headed off to the port.
We pull up, and I'm excited because I think we just ride on, but we had to park the bike.
Roll. Roll away. Roll, is up there? Yes.
Oh, thank you.
There's people that direct you, like, oh no, you have to get in that long, hideous line and wait. I don't know if motorcycles go up front or what. There's some dudes over there. Alright, these guys are gonna want the paperwork. I don't think I'll fit. Thank you, mister. Okay, she's got you got to check in over there, love. And it's just as soon as we stop, there's no more airflow, and my body just, turned into sweat.
And we went into this little tiny room, and it was so
It was like
hot in
solitary
that room.
confinement, but there was 50 people in there.
And we
know?
can't take
Just-
things off because
Yeah.
you got to get back on the motorcycle in a moment.
Just It looked like I just got out of the shower.
All right, you probably can't tell, but I feel like the sweatiest I've ever been in my life. It's very hot in this little room, but we're getting our check-in done, and I think we get a wristband.
I get back on the motor scooter.
And it was time to board the ship.
Yeah. Thank you, mister. I rode up and bounced my way up and got to somewhere level, and then they told me to like go into the bowels of the ship. Went down a ramp. It's like a parking complex on a boat, and they have all these like little, hooks sticking, or like
they're like metal hooks, not hooks, loops.
No, loops, yeah.
In order to put ropes through and whatnot.
Yeah. Also, plus the bumpiness, and I put my feet down to like talk to Marissa, and then when I went, my foot got stuck on one of these little horseshoe things, and thank goodness that I was wearing proper riding boots, because if I was wearing any kind of shoe, it would have just mushed my foot and fallen over and just cried.
Ow. You gotta help me, love. Ow.
And not only did it hit the loop, the metal loop, but it got stuck between that and the little knob thing of the center stand.
My foot got caught here between that and the center stand.
Yeah.
Which is already low and bending and has all sorts of problems. So yeah, your foot got stuck.
Sure did. But I got out of it.
Yeah, you got out of it, and you were able to park the motorcycle. And then our next set of worries dawned on us.
Because the center stand is garbage, the kickstand is garbage.
The kickstand is zip tied up.
Yeah. So now we're on, a rocking boat, and we have no way of keeping our motorcycle nice and level, and we have, 1,000 pounds of gear on it.
Yeah, and we don't have any rope. Normally we carry all this rope with us with our other motorcycle, but this one we don't have rope.
Yeah.
And so I was asking anyone I could see, I was like, help, we need to tie down this motorcycle because it's tall, it's heavy, it's full of stuff, and it's going to fall over.
Yeah, I just didn't want it to do that like bar scene outside of like a Sturgis
It was
rally.
going to be dominoes.
Like ding, 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 ding,
Yeah,
ding,
because
ding.
it's next to all these other motorcycles. So if it went over, all the other motorcycles were going to be knocked over as well. But thankfully, the people there, of course, were so nice because they're Indonesian, and every Indonesian we've ever met has been incredibly nice. And they were like, yes, we can help you. We have ropes, we have straps, and they all came over and started helping out.
They did a questionable job. They were very nice, but they're really I was in Boy Scouts long ago, and I know a couple knots, and none of these knots were in my Boy Scout training.
All right, we're a little concerned because one side of the motorcycle has very small ropes, and the other side has a nice thick cinching strap.
They were held together by wishes and hopes.
but this was the preliminary tying down.
Yeah.
We didn't realize that later on they were going to actually tie everything down a lot more securely.
Yeah. But we met the second mate.
First mate.
First mate.
Yes, not the
bad.
captain, but the first mate.
This is true.
Yes. He was so awesome.
Yeah,
and we got
everybody's
selfies
nice.
with everyone, of course.
Mandatory selfies.
Yes.
It's on the ticket. It said must provide selfies.
I don't think I've ever sweat this much. I mean, people pay good money for this type of sweat detox in like a Finnish sauna. Ours is a lot cheaper. But there is no cool down pool after this. And then we entered the ship.
Yeah.
I was so drenched in sweat. It was so hot down in those lower levels of this ship.
The bowels of the ship.
Oh, that's a nice breeze.
I'm climbing up these stairs.
It felt like I had just come out of a sauna, and we got into the main area where we were going to be staying. There's the air conditioning.
And there was aircon.
Air conditioning.
Absolutely amazing. I thought we were all just going to be sleeping on a deck, and they're going to give you like a little gymnastics mat to sleep on and cry your way.
And it was supposed to storm that night. I could just imagine like these waves like coming over us and being sprayed by the rain and everything.
But it was nice. It wasn't as glamorous as walking up the steps of the Titanic, but I almost felt equally the same because my expectations were below screen here. And we had the whole, like the captain, there
was nobody there.
He was like, you can pick anywhere you want. And so there's bottom floor and top tiered stuff, and
there were beds, right? I mean, it was like an inch worth of mattress, and also only about like, what, 4 feet long.
Yeah.
Not very
It was
long
like
beds.
5 feet
Okay,
long.
maybe 5 feet.
But I'm 6 foot, so.
But my feet were hanging over the edge, so I'm not sure it was 5 feet. But anyway,
Yeah.
they were short, but still, it was very, very nice. Oh, this is so much better than I expected. Air conditioning, beds, very short beds, but still beds.
But this is kind of nice. This, when you expect the worst, then you get something that's not really nice, but this turns out to be a lot more exciting. This is a place to lay down. There's aircon. There's crafty music that's probably overwhelming my voice. And then we get a view. Upgrade. TV's off.
Due to this guy.
This powerful power finder.
I don't know if they're gonna be like,
Kick
what
us
have you
off.
done?
What
Turned off the music.
Alright, let's go.
Alright, we're gonna explore the ship. We went up to the top deck to see everything. Lord Borneo! Hello!
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
This is the first time that we have seen the ocean here in Indonesia. Every time it's been blocked, you know, by city and buildings. And here we are, kind of coming to the bow of the ship. And beyond the docks in the distance, there's just the Java Sea as far as you can see to Borneo. We went and explored the cafeteria area and the bathrooms, of course.
There was like a stage, right? There's a live band. I'm gonna freak out. I'm gonna shut these doors, seal the hatch.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't want to be entertained by the Indonesian equivalent of Neil Diamond cruise ship variety. So I was a little like, oh, the stage is a little close to where we're sleeping.
It was very close to where we
But,
were sleeping. And then we were setting up our camp, right? And we looked out the window and we saw just like hordes of people coming onto the ship. And so that will all be in the next episode.
Our cruise.
Yes, through the storm across the Java Sea. 7:45, so not that late, but I don't know if you can hear me because someone brought a karaoke machine. It is a party in here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked this episode. If you did, please give us a big thumbs up and hit the subscribe button below. Ding ding. And we'll be seeing you next time.
Stay safe, everybody.
Bye.
Peace.
Oh, and one last thing, we want to really give a big shout out and thanks to all of our patrons. You guys are amazing and you guys have made this all happen.
This is true. We've got a couple more this week,
Yes,
so thank you.
Thank you. If you are interested in Patreon and supporting us in our journeys, you can join for as little as $1 a month and you get exclusive content and you get
early access to videos, ad-free, you get postcards.
Yes, you can get postcards. So check it out at Patreon/2up and Overloaded. See you next time.
Peace.
Bye.
Was there a storm?
Yeah. It was
Stay
a
tuned. I don't know.
massive storm.
Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert for me, folks, and you. We'll find out if there was a storm.